and or find a way to get to the free throw line.
What was wrong with that play?
That play by Melo, one of the greatest scorers that the game has seen, should and needs to continue to happen.
Thank you.
Because he was not on that play able to drive it all the way in. He did make it, and the kick out would not have led to an open shot. The one thing that has happened when you go by that theory, you underestimate the things that come with putting pressure on the defense, like drawing fouls.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to the line, guess what you do? Slow down the game. Guess what happens when you slow down the game? They have to take the ball out of the net. Guess what happens when they have to take the ball out of the net? Your defense is set. You get the other guy in foul trouble. So there are things that I understand and agree with as it relates to that movement, but I'm not going to put all of my chips in the middle of the table because of what I just said.
I've watched a lot of Jalen Rose highlights in my day.
That's money right there.
You're all mid-range.
No doubt.
Like, you never took it to the basket, nor did you
I couldn't jump over nobody.
Yes. I mean, it's like, it just seems like everything happens in cycles and trends. And it's not going to be just threes and layups for the rest of eternity. And also, if you're scouting a team and you know that they only take threes and layups, you can defend them in a certain way to take away the threes and the layups.
I promise you, if you look back 2 playoff runs ago, not the year Chris Paul got injured, but the year prior to that, when James Harden was invisible in Game 6 when they lost to the San Antonio Spurs.
Yep.
That entire series, and covering that series, I was saying the Spurs suffocated the 3 line.
Mm-hmm.
They literally would have 3 people standing on the line.
Whether you were there or not.
And then the other 2 people were basically guarding the rim.
At the rim. Yeah, I just feel like if you zig, eventually you have to zag. Will this be the year that the Rockets embrace the mid-range shot?
It should be the year where you get the best shot when teams play really good defense, like the Golden State Warriors when they clamp down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to be interesting if he's apologizing for making a bucket when it means the most.
And even those Warriors who discussed, in the playoffs, they were posting up KD from about 12 feet. And that's what Carmelo is best at. Give him the ball 15 feet from the basket. He faces up. He puts the ball over his head. He jab steps. He gets to the rim and gets fouled or makes a bucket.
When he was playing with James Harden this offseason, and we joked that they were having more fun after the workout, not only did we see footage of Melo operating on the elbow, James Harden spoke into a microphone and said that's basically where he likes to get his money. And so that's how to use him to his maximum. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think he's going to be a quality fit for them.
I love the Rockets this year. Well, Kevin Durant is already being asked questions about his impending free agency. I didn't expect this to start happening this early, but he could have handled it differently than he did. Here is what he had to say when he was asked about his impending free agency. He said, quote, "Just be honest. I was honest with my decision. But just like outwardly, if people ask me about it, don't be ashamed to talk about why I decided to move teams and switch teams because it's not the end of the world. I didn't do anything against the law, you know what I'm saying? That's what I thought happened the first time." See, if I was Kevin Durant's agent or best friend, I would say, Kevin, just say you're going to stay with the Warriors. Just so that way it'll die down. But now he's saying, I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be open about my decision. Makes it sound like there's a decision to be made. It makes it sound like he's leaving the door open to leaving.
I learned not to worry about things people actually say. I pay more attention to what they do. Is that why you don't listen to me?
Oh, okay.
And so all I know is the backlash that he took, not only from fans and media, but from OKC, from Russell Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he wants to endure that again. Number 2, why would he leave in 2019 when he just won 2 championships and 2 finals MVPs and got put on the stage where he could be the best player for the best team? Now, it would be another thing if it seemed like he was riding their coattail, shot 35%, only averaged 12 points, and then they won 2 championships. And while everybody was celebrating, he was the guy like, oh, even though we won a championship, I'm out here shooting on the court.
Let me ask you a question. 2 scenarios. One scenario, they win their 3rd straight title. 3-peat. Let's say that happens, okay? Second scenario, maybe some injuries, bad year, bad chemistry, bad matchups. They lose in the second round of the Western Conference playoffs. Which scenario makes it more likely for him to leave the Warriors at the end of the year?
Easy money. Second round of the playoffs. Because if the Golden State Warriors get bounced, that means he didn't play really well.
What if it's we won 3 championships in a row, I'm ready for a new challenge? Couldn't you see that happening?
I can't see that happening because for KD, he found a terrific landing spot because he talked about not necessarily wanting to be the leader, not necessarily having to be the guy with all of the pressure in interviews, not even the guy that has to always take the final shot. And so you can't pick a better scenario than what he has in Golden State, especially immediately. Now, when you start looking a handful of years or so, 3 to 5 years down the line, things change, injuries happen, circumstances around the league take place. But for the most part, I anticipate he's going to be there for the next couple of seasons.
Well, one thing we know about Kevin Durant is he pays attention to social media. Right? And our former colleague and our guy, Tom Havistro, wrote a very interesting piece about how social media has affected and infected NBA players, right? And it's a very long and thoughtful article. It's just sort of about how social media has really just taken over our conscience as a society, and especially professional athletes that are in the public eye. And there's this one quote from J.J. Redick I found really interesting. J.J. Redick said, quote, "It's a dark place. It's not a healthy place. It's not real. It's not a healthy place for ego if we're talking about some Freudian bleep. It's just this cycle of anger and validation and tribalism. It's scary, man." He said that he's taken social media off of his phone. Do you think social media is a problem for the modern-day athlete?
I don't think it's a problem. I think it's something that you must learn to manage. It has to be what you do, not who you are. You can't be consumed by staring at your phone all day and the information that's going to come back at you in your comments on Instagram and or Twitter and anticipate that they're all going to be positive when you do 2 things. When you have an opinion and or you play a game where they keep score. People can always move the goalpost on you. And so if you're constantly trying to spit up at God, what did Jay say is going to happen? Get it in the face.
When we come back, Jalen will spend the entire break looking at his social media, and then when we finally come back, we'll play Keep It Moving.